ridiculous. We're going to talk about the new $100,000 Twitch rival tournament that is going to feature no building Fortnite. We also have our first no building Fortnite tournament starting today, the Skin Cup, where you can win a skin with 4 different styles, and we have some ridiculous items returning to the game. We have the hunting rifle, heavy sniper, ballers, and we get our first look at this new shotgun that will be added very shortly. Also, we have some major map changes coming up in the near future. The blimps are going to be crashing around the map, and I'm going to let you know why and when that's happening. So, like I said, stacker of a video. Let's just jump into it. Before we talk about all the crazy new items coming to the game, let's talk about the biggest topic right now, the no building in Fortnite. I know you've heard a lot about it, but there's a lot of evidence this is staying around, whether you love it or whether you hate it. We have a few very, very good pieces of evidence to go off. First off, we had Hypex tweeting out, seems like Epic is planning to keep a no building mode. Here are some signs/proofs. There is a separate no building mode that they can enable anytime after this limited time event. So in the game files, it has been proven that Epic has the ability to just turn off building in-game modes if they choose to, and they've also changed most loading screen tips to say in modes with building enabled, which would assume that then even after the next few days there is going to be modes that don't have building. So it could be that it's staying in pubs permanently, or it could be it's getting its own mode entirely. We also had iFireMonkey also tweeting out evidence of this, and with Twitch rivals now announcing a $100,000 no building tournament, you kind of have to assume that clearly there is conversation going on at a Fortnite level, at an Epic Games level, to keep no building in the game. Twitch rivals tweeted out this no building thing in Fortnite games being cool. Say we did an event with creators from EU, LATAM, and NA. Which creators would you want to see play for like $100,000? Tag them. So this means that Epic also would need to keep a way that you could then turn building off on, let's say, customs or a specific game mode, because normally Twitch rivals has their own tournaments in the compete tab, or at the very least a run on customs. So Epic is retaining the ability to be able to turn building off at least for tournaments like this, because Twitch rivals don't happen overnight. Building is supposed to go away in about a week's time, but this Twitch rivals event will not happen before then. So clearly they are leaving a no building game mode, or have the ability to turn a game mode into no building. So we'll have to see whether this is going to be its own separate game mode like most people are asking for, whether it is just going to take over pubs forever and there will be no building. But I mean, whether you love or hate the building as it is, it's around to stay. Fortnite aren't just putting on tournaments for the big creators in no building. We have a Skin Cup taking place today as of this video, going live in most of the major regions, where you can win the Chloe Kim Skin Cup, which comes with 4 different styles and the back bling in a no building tournament. So Epic is really doubling down on this no building. If you guys want to play, it's a duos tournament like all the Skin Cups. It's open to anyone in Opens division or higher. It looks like a victory hour is going to be worth 25 points. Each elim is worth 1. If you're in EU, you need to get top 1800, NA East is top 1300, NA West 500, and then all the way down. So it looks like they're giving the skin out, you know, pretty deep into the prize pool, but it's going to be fun to watch. I'm actually probably going to do a viewing party for this on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Aussie Antics. Epic's going to bring out no building competitive, and there's potentially a $100,000 tournament around the corner. I want to see the strategies. Again, I haven't been playing the no building myself, but I'm not against watching it. If you guys are enjoying and you think it's fun, I'm going to watch it, see if it's going to be a good time, because I think it should be pretty funny, and I think it's going to be crazy to see who comes out on top. I'm sure we'll see some pros up there on the leaderboard just because of obviously game sense and their aim, but I'm fully expecting to see a lot of the content creators who've been heavily grinding out this game mode and learning it to come out on top. There is going to be a big element of luck, especially if the end games are reasonably stacked. I don't know whether they will be. We'll have to see. Without building, obviously you can't have them be incredibly stacked, but if we have some zones ending near some big POIs of lots of buildings, we could see some pretty intense end games with absolutely 0 building. So I'm excited to give it a watch. If you guys want to try, make sure you do. But yeah, Fortnite is really doubling down on this no building. Let's start talking about all the crazy new items and weapons we have coming back to the game with some new ones, because we have leaks galore coming out right now. We get our first look at the brand new shotgun. This is like the shotgun where it's a mix of a pump shotgun and a double barrel shotgun. This is the one that I talked about in a recent video. Fortnite showed a clip of it in game, so this isn't just a random leak. We know we are getting this season. Hypex tweeting out upcoming shotgun stats. This is the single barrel shotgun. It's a mix of the pump and double barrel. It shoots 1 bullet, then reloads just like the double barrel. It kind of has that break action where you open it and close it. We've seen it in the trailer. The stats go up to mythic, but I don't know if we'll get a mythic. So it's at least going up to legendary. Hypex believes damage is 117 at a gray rarity, 142 at legendary. Headshot does 146 at gray or 178 at legendary. It does 81 damage to builds or 99 damage to builds at legendary. That is very, very high amount of build damage. It has a reload time of 1.7 at the lowest and 1.3 at legendary. So it's not going to one-shot headshot. It's going to do 178 damage at the highest rarity, but with a reload time of 1.3, and we've got to imagine, you know, it's not going to take too long to pull out and shoot. This could be a really, really good answer to, again, all of the people complaining about the spray meta, which, you know, I do understand. We are looking for a strong shotgun that can really counter the SMGs and people jump in your box. And with the SMGs right now and how much damage they do, you really only have one shot. So this one is going to have to be the one that does it. Hypex mentioned has a tighter bullet spread than the regular pump, so it shoots 9 pellets and has a 1.25 headshot multiplier. So this could really, really put out some serious damage. Tight spread, 9 pellets, and it only has one shot. You're expecting to hit on average at least a solid 150 plus. Then swap to an SMG. I'm really, really excited to see this shotgun come out. I'm really, really excited to see what it does to the meta. Obviously, the heavy shotgun was Epic's attempt to try out a, you know, one-shot shotgun. I'm guessing they weren't too happy with the way that shooting just one slug works. You either did ridiculous damage if you were ADSing, it almost felt like a sniper rifle, but then when you were hip firing, which is most of the time use a shotgun, like on a peanut butter edit, it just felt like luck. You were almost no-scoping the player. You were praying the game let you hit them. So I really think this is the kind of shotgun they were looking for, and I think it's going to fit into the loot pool far, far better. We don't just have a new weapon, we have some leaks about some old favorites and classics. I've already talked about the heavy sniper in previous videos, but we now know it's definitely coming this season because Epic has adjusted the damage values. Now, this is a big one. It no longer one-shot headshots. The heavy sniper, the one that used to do 150 to the body, now no longer one-shot headshots. It now does 198 at the highest legendary variant. So there is no way to hit a one-shot headshot snipe with this weapon. It does 120, 128, and 132 to the body, which is normal, but then the headshot damage has been nerfed at every rarity from being 200, 200, 200 to 180, 192, and 198. Also, it has nerfed the amount of damage it does to structures and builds, but it will still break any player-built structure. So if you have a fully metal wall, it will still break it, but it will not break reinforced walls. They've nerfed the damage done to structures from 1000, 1050, 1100 to 600, 630, and 660. It also means you won't be able to destroy a lot of the environmental walls. If you like shooting the wall of a building, a lot of those will have more than 660 health. But an interesting change, and they also have buffed the reload time. They've made a faster reload from 4 seconds down to 3.5 at legendary variant. I don't know why they buffed the reload time. I feel like I'm happy to see the heavy sniper back in the game. I honestly am. Without doing one-shot headshot, doing 198, which is a big shot, I honestly probably would have preferred it do one-shot headshot. I know that's a big debate in a lot of the Fortnite scene, but honestly, I think having one-shot headshot snipers, at least in a gun that's quite difficult to get, I'm assuming the heavy sniper will not just drop out of chest and as floor loot. I think it's actually pretty good. It stops players over peaking, it stops players being overconfident, but the heavy sniper is all about breaking the walls, walking up, sniping a wall, jumping in, and going crazy. And with the SMGs the way they are, this is going to lead to some pretty crazy end games. I feel like it is going to be very exciting to watch. Pro players and a lot of you guys are going to have to dial your awareness back up, because if 2 players are carrying this, double heavy sniping is back, or just heavy snipe and getting sprayed, you will have to be double layered up in all your boxes from now on, which honestly you probably should have already been doing with the spray meta the last few seasons. But I'm honestly excited to see it back. But maybe you don't like the heavy sniper, maybe you want a different sniper. Well, Epic's got you covered. It looks like we're getting the hunting rifle back as well. Hypex tweeting out the hunting rifle also got nerfed. No more one-shot headshot, just like the heavy snipe nerf, though. Seems like Epic is really taking the no one-shot headshot route, which again is worth mentioning with that shotgun we just talked about as well. There is no way to one-shot headshot in Fortnite, and Epic is making sure of that with every single update. So as much as I want one-shot headshot, it looks like Epic disagrees. But we have damage nerf from being 82 at the lowest rarity to 72, and from 100 down to 88, and the headshot being nerfed from 200 all rarities to 162 at the lowest and 198 at the highest. And I would question how often people are going to run the hunting rifle then. If I'm doing 82 to the body and, you know, what is that, 162 headshot at the gray rarity, I don't really know if I'm going to be running it that much. Like, you ran the hunting rifle because you wanted to get that one-shot headshot. Yes, it's going to be cool to do damage, but trick shotters are really going to have to make sure their enemies are weak before they go for shots, because the hunting rifle really isn't hitting like it used to. it isn't just items and weapons returning. We have a fan favorite vehicle. I mean, some people didn't really like it that much. It was definitely a boomer favorite, and it kind of takes people back to a nostalgic World Cup era. We have the baller getting reworked, looking like it's gonna make a return, and there's been other hints of this in trailers and different pieces out there, but Hypex again tweeting Fortnite are working on a new baller vehicle. The HP of these new ones is 400. The old one's HP was 300, but then got nerfed to 150 to 200 during the World Cup era, so it has over double the health of the World Cup baller. But again, a lot of the weapons these days do double the damage of the World Cup weapons, and players are just a lot more aware on how they play competitive and how they position. So I think adding the health up is good, but honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the baller coming back. I really do think it reduces the skill ceiling quite heavily and doesn't add using a baller, rotating endgame, taking high ground and winning the game. But a lot of people would argue that is skill in itself. It's a battle royale. You want to win the game. It's not all about flashy jumping in, going for kills, and players are going to be a lot more aware of ballers. They're going to spray them out a lot more often. But I just really honestly think the inflatable, it just does what the baller does in such a better, more balanced way. It takes up an item slot, so you have to consider whether you want to use it. Rotating it is a lot more skillful. It requires way more skill on how you actually use it. If you get shot once, it pops and you take damage and you're exposed. I just feel like the baller does everything. Why not run it? It's a shield that protects you while you rotate. It's a vehicle, not an item, so you might as well just pick it up anyway. You can base it up and keep it protected. You can climb mountains with it. Like, I just feel like it does a little bit too much, but you'll be happy. So I'm leaning towards the more. I don't want to see it come back, but I could change my mind based on when it gets put in the game. Today's video isn't all about things that are coming to the game. We also have something that was just currently added. We have the new armored battle bus at Sanctuary. This is something we've been able to fund. It is pretty crazy. It looks like it's exactly what it describes. It's a giant armored battle bus that already has a cow catcher on the front and 2 turrets. So you can drive it and have 2 people in the turrets going crazy. It just mows through everything. I haven't had a chance to play around with it too much because literally it has been dropped as I'm filming this video, and I'm already very late into today. So I'm going to play around with it a bit more tomorrow, but it seems pretty self-explanatory. I've seen some clips. I jumped in and tried to get it myself. It's obviously heavily contested, but it looks like it's going to be a bit of fun. It's only in pubs. It is not in competitive, so love to see that, because I think something like this in competitive, again, would be a little bit ridiculous, even though you can basically turn all the cars into this by just driving through builds with a cow catcher, and then you have the tank right now. But it's good to see that Epic is most likely going to rethink how the vehicles work in competitive, like the tanks. If they're not wanting to put in the armored battle bus, I have to imagine they're not going to leave the tank in, but I guess we'll see. We're also getting our first look in the new map changes that are changing throughout the season. iFireMonkey tweeting out, currently the Fortnite map is set to have 6 to 7 phases this season, where the blue, 7, and red IO controlled territories will change. Currently we're in phase 1, first image, and are set to go into phase 2, second image, potentially sometime before version 20.10. Now, Hypex also tweeting out how this is going to change the map. He tweeted out saying, when the 7 blue take back some parts of the map red, they will take the IO's tanks, turrets, and outposts, etc., and turn them into theirs. And they'll also crash these 3 blimps to those 3 red X's. So I'm a bit sad to see the fact that blimps might be crashing, because they are one of my favorite parts of this season, is having the permanent mobility to cannon around the map and fly off them and have cool fights on them. I love the blimps, so I hope they don't all go away, and I hope this is going to happen a little bit slowly throughout the season. I don't want it to be only a few weeks in and already half the blimps are gone, but it looks like half of them will still be there, and maybe once they crash, they still have a cool effect. Maybe there's still cannons that are kind of like ruined, but you can use them, or maybe you can still like fly off the wind jets. We don't know exactly what it's going to do just yet, but it's pretty cool to think that we already have major outlined map changes, and for the comp fans, it's good to know what's coming before it happens. It's not going to be like a week out from a cash cup and all of a sudden your POI gets turned into a volcano like it did on the Liquid Boys back in the day. You're getting some heads up on how the map is going to change, which again, map change is one of the hardest ones to balance between casual and competitive, because you can't just make the map different in competitive. I think that's a bit ridiculous. I want to split the two, as I always say, but I don't really want to go that far. So one of the only ways you can really balance the map between the competitive and casual side to, you know, still have all the fun, crazy changes is at least give comp players a bit of a heads up to what's going on. I'm sorry I haven't put this in my videos yet. In case you did miss it, you probably noticed that low meshes currently are not working on PC. If you set on performance mode and low meshes, it just does not work, forcing a lot of players to play on high meshes or DX11 or DX12, which just isn't giving them the performance of low meshes. Again, mobile builds was the easiest and best way to run almost everyone's Fortnite. As long as you could put up with the way it looked, it was the best frames, it was the lowest input delay, it just felt really good. And a lot of players on low-end builds are really sad to see it go, but don't worry, it is not intentional. case you missed this, Fortnite status did tweet out, "We are aware of an issue where the setting for low mesh is not working as intended. We will provide an update when we have more information." Unfortunately, that was 2 days ago and we still don't have any more information, but hopefully it helps you guys to know that it is not an intended change. It is broken, it is being fixed, and hopefully it'll be fixed for you guys soon. I'm sorry I haven't mentioned that earlier, just didn't know where to put it in a video. I wish I had better news for you though. Did I or did I not tell you this was a stacker of a video? Come on, I know I say that sometimes. You guys got to admit. Let me know in the comments down below if you're excited for the new season. It's looking pretty good, but that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please chuck a like on it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.